Good morning, students.
Good morning, ma'am.
Today we are going to discuss about the topic exchange of respiratory gases.
Okay, ma'am.
Tell me an introduction about exchange of respiratory gases.
Oxygen is essential for the cells. Carbon dioxide, which is produced as waste product in the cells, must be expelled from the cells and body. Lungs serve to exchange these two gases with blood.
Okay, explain exchange of respiratory gases in lungs. Sophie, in the lungs, exchange of respiratory gases takes place between the alveoli of lungs and the blood. Oxygen enters the blood from alveoli and carbon dioxide is expelled out of blood into alveoli. Exchange occurs through bulk flow diffit. What is mean by diffusing capacity? Alan.
Diffusing capacity is defined as the volume of gas that diffuses through the respiratory membrane each minute for a pressure gradient of 1 mm Hg.
Okay, next, diffusion of oxygen. Explain effusion of oxygen from atmospheric air into alveoli.
Partial pressure of oxygen in the atmospheric air is 159 mm Hg and in the alveoli, it is 140 mm Hg. Because of the pressure gradient of 55 mm Hg, oxygen easily enters from atmospheric air into the alveoli.
Good. Explain effusion of oxygen from alveoli into blood. Sophie, when blood passes through pulmonary capillary, RBC is exposed to oxygen only for 0.75 second at rest and only for 0.25 second during severe exercise. So diffusion of oxygen must be quicker and effective. Fortunately, this is possible because of pressure gradient. Next is diffusion of carbon dioxide. Explain effusion of carbon dioxide from blood into alveoli. Alan.
Partial pressure of carbon dioxide in alveoli is 40 mm Hg, whereas in the blood it is 46 mm Hg. Pressure gradient of 6 mm Hg is responsible for the diffusion of carbon dioxide from blood into the alveoli.
Good. Define diffusion of carbon dioxide from alveoli into atmospheric air. Sophie, in atmospheric air, partial pressure of carbon dioxide is very insignificant and is only about 0.3 mm Hg, whereas, in the alveoli, it is 40 mm Hg. So carbon dioxide passes to atmosphere from alveoli easily. Okay, explain exchange of respiratory gases at tissue level. Oxygen enters the cells of tissues from blood and carbon dioxide is expelled from cells into the blood. Explain effusion of oxygen from blood into the tissues. Alan.
Partial pressure of oxygen in venous end of pulmonary capillary is 104 mm Hg. However, partial pressure of oxygen in the arterial end of systemic capillary is only 95 mm Hg. It may be because of physiological shunt in lungs. Due to venous admixture in the shunt, 2% of blood reaches the heart without being oxygenated.
Very good. Explain effusion of carbon dioxide from tissues into the blood. Sophie. Due to continuous metabolic activity, carbon dioxide is produced constantly in the cells of tissues. So the partial pressure of carbon dioxide is high in the cells and is about 46 mm Hg. Okay, finally, what is respiratory quotient? Respiratory quotient is the molar ratio of carbon dioxide production to oxygen consumption. It is used to determine the utilization of different foodstuffs. Okay, students, today's discussion is over. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.